Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Let's Talk Tuesdays podcast. My name is Brendan Plays. This is the show where we answer all of your questions that you guys send in every single week on the Brendan Plays forums at brendanplays.com/forums or on the YouTube comment section down below. And of course, you can also leave a voicemail by heading over to the website brendanplays.com and clicking the green button on the right hand side of the page. All questions are appreciated. Keep on sending them in. I know I forgot again, for all the Facebook users, I forgot to open up the question thread again. I need to kind of write something down, remind myself. It's not in my usual routine yet. It's normally the forums, that's just there always. The YouTube comment section, that's there always. I forget to go out of my way to post up that thread. So maybe I need to post it a day in advance or something like that. Just, some kind of reminder I need to do it. But I apologize again. We will get that done. I guess I was too busy watching Raw, and well, tell you the truth, I actually went out and missed the first half an hour of Raw, and I was on catch-up duty, so I just wasn't anywhere near the computer. So anyways, this week, WWE Roadblock is this Saturday. We have Ambrose versus Triple H, Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt, the main drawing cards of the show. We'll talk more about that later on. We had a pretty good episode of Raw. I actually really enjoyed Raw this week. I thought it was one of better shows that I've seen in a while. I guess perhaps the crowd really brought it to a next level. Plus, there were some really good matches in there. We'll talk more in detail, but Kevin Owens and Neville was fantastic. And, of course, Y2 AJ and The New Day that was awesome. That was one of my favorite tag matches in quite some time. That was a great, great match. So we'll talk more about that in detail. For me personally, what have I been up to? Nothing really. Normally I spend 10 minutes yakking on about my life, but there really isn't much to say this week. Haven't really done anything. Just been selling at home. Just been sorting the house out. Everything's unpacked now. I just got my monitor stand today, so my setup is basically complete now. I want to do a setup video. I did find my camera that I've been looking for a while. I want to do a setup video, but the thing is, I kind of feel like I need to improve it a little bit more before I show you guys. I mean, I feel like I need to fix up my cable management. It's not that great. It's, pretty average to be fair. But it's not as bad as it perhaps could have been. I've kind of done a little bit to it to make it somewhat better. But I wouldn't mind fixing that up and just kind of making the room a bit nicer in general. But yeah, so that would be nice to do. I don't know what I could really do to make it any better, but we'll try and find something out. But we will do the setup video at some point. And other than that, really not much to say. Just been making a lot of videos. Actually, was on the grind a fair bit today. Today and the past week. Making a Universe Mode video every day until yesterday, because I was too busy trying to record NXT Arrival. And I didn't get around to posting the full show, and that will probably be out tomorrow. That's my plan. That's NXT Arrival is tomorrow, so that'll be my big job tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, so not much to really say. So I guess we can probably skip this segment and go on to this week's Raw. Yeah, not much really coming up either. So just me right now. I'm in just YouTube mode, YouTube and stream mode. I haven't streamed too much, just a few streams here and there. I do appreciate everyone that's been coming out to the streams. I've been trying to play some different games on stream, and that's my goal. I don't really enjoy playing the WWE too much on the stream. I much rather play, The Division just came out today, which is unbelievable. That game is so good. I play the Uncharted beta as well. So some things like that, I really want to play more different games on stream. And I appreciate everyone that's been coming along to the streams, even though you might just want to see WWE stuff from me. But unfortunately, it doesn't really interest me too much on the stream. So you'll see a diversity of games from me, and hopefully you like me enough to come along and check out those games as well. But anyways, this week, Monday Night Raw, well, we had Shane McMahon. He made another appearance here in front of Chicago. Like I said, really good crowd. I did miss the reaction for Shane. I did hear it somewhat in the background, but I wasn't kind of watching when he came out. But I think it was a very good one. And I enjoyed his promo, and then Vince, of course, came out, and they had a really good interaction. I really, really enjoyed that interaction. Just made the whole thing very personal. And I'm actually pretty hyped for a Vince versus Shane rivalry. Well, wait, that's not what we're getting. We're getting Undertaker versus Shane. So here's the thing. I am enjoying the Vince and Shane interaction. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But where does the Undertaker tie in all this? He's just the guy that's representing Vince at this point. And last week was very underwhelming when we saw him. We saw him for 2 minutes and that was it. I would much rather see Undertaker more involved in this rivalry. I'm really enjoying the interactions between Vince and Shane, no doubt. I like the storyline. Vince has cut Shane out of the will. Shane's trying to take over Raw, trying to make the WWE better, trying to save his company that he loves. And Undertaker's just there. For some reason, we're having a Hell in a Cell match. For some reason, we are. We're just doing it. I mean, the storyline regarding the Hell in a Cell match doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, Shane has something that Vince doesn't want the public to know. He's got some dirty laundry on Vince, saved the WWE out of financial trouble, whatever the hell it was. And for some reason, he has to have a Hell in a Cell match to get control of Raw. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Shane should have just been like, I want control of Raw, otherwise I'm going to tell everyone about this. It doesn't make any sense. But I guess for some reason, they wanted to have Shane. They needed some excuse to get Shane in the ring. Some excuse to give him in the ring, and some excuse to give Undertaker a match. So I was always saying the match wasn't going to happen. The match is going to happen now. But I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen between those two in the ring. I think it probably will be a bloodbath to a degree. The only thing I want to see Shane do is I want to see one more coast to coast. I hope he can do it. I don't know if he'll be able to, but I hope he can do it somehow. I hope he's just been training, trying to hit that move every day for the last month. I would like that. I want to see one more coast to coast. Doesn't have to fly off the Hell in a Cell. Doesn't have to, take any crazy risk. But one more coast to coast with the garbage can. Gotta be the garbage can. To Undertaker's face. Please. That's all I want to see. Just that. And I'll be a happy man. But, yeah, so the match itself, I just think, I don't know really what's going to go down. I think Undertaker's going to win that one. And, we've talked about that over the past few weeks. But, like I said, I really enjoyed the interactions. But it just feels like Undertaker is just the third wheel. He's just there, just not really involved in this. So I would like to see Taker more involved. So get him on Raw. I think he might be on next week. I'm not sure. But get him on Raw, and let's do something with him. Let's do something with Undertaker. And that's all I ask. That's really it. I just want to see Undertaker involved and have Shane and Taker have some kind of interaction between the two and set up a match for those two, because it's just really a Vince versus Shane situation right now, or a Shane versus Authority situation. It's not really Undertaker and Shane. Well, obviously, the most sensible match, the most logical match would have been Triple H versus Shane McMahon. I'm sure if Triple H wasn't champion, that's what we would have seen. And I probably would have rather seen that, honestly. I mean, Triple H could have easily been like, look, you walked away. I stepped up when you were gone. I've been carrying this company for months. For years and years. I've been, working my ass off trying to, keep it afloat, blah, blah, blah. It would have made for a great storyline. But Undertaker, I guess they just needed an opponent for him. Just needed someone for Shane to wrestle. It just happened to be Undertaker. So I think the storyline would have made much more sense for Triple H to be in that role, but at the end of the day, Taker's there. So, like I said, I enjoyed Shane being there. I think he really adds a great and exciting element to the show. It's only going to be short term, of course. I don't think he's going to be hanging around after WrestleMania, but it's going to be very exciting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I'm really enjoying that storyline, but just want to see more Taker, just more. Next up, Kevin Owens versus Neville. Really, really good match between Owens and Neville. This had a really good, good night of matches, I think, tonight on Raw. It was a good night. There was a couple of pay-per-view quality matches on the show, I thought. This being one of them, Neville and Owens. It's a shame that Neville's in the position that he's in, because he really is fantastic. He really is great. But it's a real shame that the WWE just doesn't really seem to do too much with him. And there's a lot of guys that's the same thing for them. Look at Tyler Breeze getting bitched out in a few minutes, and Damien Sandow can't even get on TV. Cesaro, when he's there, is barely getting used. There's a lot of guys that deserve a lot better, but they just don't get it. And I definitely think Neville is one of them. But for Neville, he and Owens put on a phenomenal matchup. Really, really good, really fun. Crowd was hyped. After the match, Kevin Owens did a beatdown on Neville, and I kind of knew, alright, here we come. Here comes Sami Zayn, because there was some rumors going around that they were going to do Sami Zayn versus Owens at WrestleMania, and I wasn't happy about it, because I feel like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn feud at WrestleMania, a rivalry for WrestleMania, a match at WrestleMania. It deserves a little bit more than 4 weeks of a build. I would have liked to see Sami Zayn come back a while ago and maybe cost Kevin Owens the Intercontinental Championship before he won it, or something like that. Do something like that, or come out when he retained the title against Ziggler at Fastlane. But they kind of done it. It feels like it's just last minute, and I feel like after all the build-up, all the history between the two, I just would have liked to seen more than just. It feels like just throwing it together last minute. But a good crowd for Zayn to return in front of. I think the crowd gave him a good response. It wasn't fantastic. It was a good response. But I think majority of crowds, in the US would have gave him a pretty lukewarm reaction, because I don't think a lot people kind of overestimate NXT to a degree. I think people are aware of Sami Zayn, but I don't think people are really fully invested in the guy. Us hardcore fans, yes, we know all about him. But, there's 3-4 million people who watch Raw, and I would say maybe 500,000 of them watch NXT. So that's a big portion. Let's say there's 3.5 million that watch Raw. 3 million don't watch NXT, so that's a huge portion. I'm probably sure, another million of them are very well aware of Sami Zayn, but, that's a big portion of the audience that aren't aware of Sami Zayn or don't really know all that much about him. So just to kind of have him return like that out of the blue, we've only seen him once on the main roster, and just to have him come out like that out of the blue, it was lucky it was in Chicago, because I really felt like it would have just been nothing to a lot of crowds. So it was lucky it was Chicago. It worked out okay, and he didn't get a great response. I felt as though it would have been better, but it wasn't as good as I thought. But it's good to see that Sami Zayn finally in the main roster. Is this going to be the final? All right, he's finally here kind of situation. Finally after all this time, we're going to finally put him there. Just him being in NXT is just a complete waste. You just feel like he doesn't need to be there. Like, you feel like he's above NXT at this point. Like, he's well and beyond past NXT, and I think they don't need him there. They've got so many guys down there. They don't need Sami Zayn NXT. WWE needs Sami Zayn on the main roster, and I'm glad he's there. And I'm glad they're probably not going with a multi-man match for Kevin Owens. I felt as though a singles match, if it had to be Neville or a Ziggler again, or an AJ Styles, I thought it was going to be AJ Styles. But if there had been a singles match, I think it would have been much, much better rather than just a multi-man match. So I'm glad they went for the singles. Sami Zayn, obviously Kevin Owens' best WWE opponent, you would probably say, his biggest WWE rival. And I think a lot of us have been wanting to see this rivalry. So hopefully next week on Raw, they show a lot of clips between Kevin Owens and Zayn of what they've done in NXT, and perhaps on the independents again as well, and kind of just catch us all up to date on that rivalry. Because even myself, I'm still a little bit dusty with it, so I wouldn't mind a bit of a catch-up next week, just so a majority of the fans can get up to date and go, oh, okay, these guys have been competing heaps of times in NXT. All right, this makes sense. So that's all I really asked for. Sami Zayn, good. Like that. Great match. Good to see Zayn back. Just something a little bit more to give us a refresher of the Zayn and Owens situation. Just so, majority of fans are up to date, Alrighty, so next up, Lana. Lana came out again to Brie Bella. I still don't know why this is going on. And last week, I think, did she wear the business suit last week? I think she did. This week, she's wearing her Dolph Ziggler, weird, denim shit. What is going on with Lana? I mean, the WWE, are they just taking the piss out of it? They've got to be. They just got to be taking the piss out of it. Because one week, she's coming out like, she's with Rusev. The next week, she's like dressing like she did when she was with Dolph. Her character is all over the place. We still don't really know why she's coming after Brie. She's just making fun of the fact that Brie's having a bad time. And, I mean, this is just awful. It's just really... is this going to lead to a WrestleMania match? Lana did one move on Brie on Raw, so is this now, alright, this is going to lead to a WrestleMania match? This is going to be Brie's last match? She's going to beat Lana in her last match at WrestleMania? I mean... does anybody want to see that? Oh, God. Hopefully they just do it at Roadblock and just call it quits. Because I just don't have any desire at all to see Brie Bella versus Lana one-on-one at WrestleMania. Especially considering that we don't even know if Lana can wrestle. She did one move, a move that I'm sure 80% of the world could do pretty comfortably. So it wasn't exactly that difficult. All you do is sit down and, grab her hair and pull her head down. It's not very hard to do. So I don't have much hopes at all for a Lana versus Brie match. I really don't want to see it, but for Lana, can we just drop the accent? Can we just drop the accent? Have her dress in sexy attire, wear the dresses, don't have to wear the business suit, don't have the hair tied up, don't have to just do all that. Just make her normal. Just make her Lana. Just make her who she really is. Because I think majority of the fans, myself personally, are just kind of fed up with the Lana character. We're just fed up. Like, we all know it's a work. Come on, we all know. It was okay for like a year or so, when she was doing the Rusev thing, when he was doing well, and Lana and Rusev, that was good pairing. Now we don't even see Lana and Rusev barely ever. So this is just something to give Lana to do. But I just feel like, come on, it's really just played out. Let's just do something dramatically with Lana. Just make her the blonde bombshell that we all know they want her to be. But they don't want to do it. I just think right now it's just a way to make Lana look stupid. I would not be surprised if Brie Bella beats Lana in like 2 minutes at WrestleMania. I just think they absolutely hate Lana. I think they just want to get rid of her. This is just a way to have Brie go out as a winner, probably. Retire at WrestleMania as a winner. And who can we sacrifice for Brie Bella? We'll give her Lana. It's just, I don't know. I just don't know. It's, I just can't figure out Lana, and I don't really want to. I do not care. Next up, my highlight of the show. My absolute dead set highlight, New Day versus Y2AJ. I got lost in the moment in this match. I was on the edge of my seat going, come on, I really wanted Chris Jericho and AJ Styles to win. I was pissed when the New Day won. I just went to myself, wow, I can still do it. I can still enjoy wrestling. It's a great thing, when you get in that match, you get into it so much, and you just get lost for a moment, and I just loved it. The reason why I wanted Y2J and AJ Styles is because I really was enjoying the pairing. I really was enjoying the tag team. Now, I knew that if something was going to happen, I thought maybe they might give them the tag belts and have them 1 month run, and then they break up. But they're not even going to do that. And I think that might be a little bit of a mistake. A 1-2 week pairing, then they break up. I just feel like it would have, for me, I would have done New Day versus Y2AJ at WrestleMania for the belts, have Y2AJ win, and maybe if you wanted to have the New Day win them back at Extreme Rules, then you do the turn. That way, you've established the team to the crowd, people can get behind the team, people can enjoy the team, believe in the team, and then when the breakup happens, it's more meaningful, more of an impact. I think this week, the crowd obviously made it great, and I think people were really happy with the match, really enjoyed it, maybe wanted to see another one. I certainly wanted to see New Day and Y2AJ again. I really, really enjoyed it. It was probably one of the best tag matches I've seen on the WWE in a long, long time. Probably go back to like the Usos versus the Wyatts, or when the Shield were doing their tag matches. Probably go back down then, when we were seeing some high-quality tag team matches like that. I think this one really, really was right up there. Very, very good match. But I just felt as though I would have liked to have seen this team a little bit longer. But now we have Y2J versus AJ Styles. Jericho turns heel. A very, very good heel turn. Very, very good. Hit, I think, maybe 3 code breakers to Styles, which is good. I like that. And then he had the Y2AJ t-shirt, and he stuffed it in AJ Styles' mouth. Now, that was perfect. That was the perfect ending. Jericho as a heel, I think we all needed it to happen. I think his gimmick was certainly played out. For me, I was very bored of it. I was very critical of Jericho a few weeks ago on this show. I just was really done with Jericho as a singles, which is why the tag team pairing for me kind of reignited my enjoyment for Chris Jericho. More so maybe for AJ Styles, because AJ Styles was really good in this match. He did some great moves. It was really, really fun to watch. I think this was a bit of a breakout moment for Styles. So I think they did a great job in establishing Styles to the crowd. And he's over. I think AJ Styles is legitimately over. Every time he comes out, he gets a good reaction. And throughout the matches, the crowd is always chanting his name. I think we can legitimately say AJ Styles is over. It's been 2 months now. And I think it's fair enough to say the crowd enjoy AJ Styles. It's been 2 months. maybe in 6 months' time we can say, the crowd might cool off on him. That's fair enough, and we might, eat our words a little bit. But I think AJ Styles is doing very well at the moment. And I think Chris Jericho is probably a huge reason why that is happening. Now, I think Styles will do even better. I think a Chris Jericho and AJ Styles match at WrestleMania, I think will be off the chain. I think that's a match, you give him 20, 25 minutes, man, that would be awesome. That would be like our match, for the internet fans' match at WrestleMania. Like Chris Jericho, who's been an internet darling for years, and AJ Styles, who's just, beloved by the internet fans right now. So I think that would be a fantastic match. Jericho can still do it. Their Fastlane match was okay. I just felt as though they had way more in the tank. I just felt as though one more match between the two would have been the best. Just would have been their best work. Perhaps at WrestleMania would have been fantastic. So now we probably are going to see it at WrestleMania, and I'm happy about that. But for me, I wanted to see the match again. I just wanted a little bit more of Y2 AJ. That's it. But because I was enjoying the tag team division for the first time in a long time. I've really been tuned out of the New Day. For me, I've been cooling off on them for a while now. You guys know that. So having Y2 AJ in there was really just kind of giving me more interest in them again. And now we're probably going to see the New Day versus the League of Nations, and nobody wants to fucking see that. I don't care what you say. League of Nations versus the New Day, that is a snooze fest. League of Nations are literally the most boring thing on this show. They are awful. And for some reason, we had to have Dolph Ziggler versus, the League of Nations this week just to give them something to do. I don't know. For some reason, Ziggler was pissed off about his Survivor Series thing about 2 years too late, Dolph. But, that was a bit odd. But, anyways, just moving on from that. I'm just a little bit disappointed. I want to see more Y2 AJ. Next up, we have Ryback beating up on his former tag team partner Curtis Axel. I love how the commentators, I don't think they mention the fact that Ryback and Curtis Axel were tag team partners for like a year. No mention. I mean, I may have missed it, so I may look like an idiot, but for me, why not talk about that? Like, oh wow, these guys teamed up for a long time. They obviously probably know each other's, moves inside and out. This should be a good contest. They, work together well. We'll see how these two fare one-on-one. I mean, nothing like that. It's such an easy thing to do, but no mention. Again, they may have, but I didn't see it. Ryback looks as though he's going to get a title shot against Kalisto for the US title. Basically saying to Kalisto, you should go your separate ways like I did. It's working out for me. It should work out for you. Blah, 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 blah. I don't mind this. I mean, I think Ryback will probably beat Kalisto at WrestleMania for the US title. I still don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to have a big multi-man match? Are they going to have a Andre the Giant Battle Royal? What's the deal there? We still probably don't know. We might find out about the Battle Royal soon. Probably have Big Show come out and beat up 10 guys and say he's going to be in the Battle Royal again. More than likely. Probably Wyatt Family. That'll be their gig for the night. Social Outcast as well. That'll probably be their gig. So something like that will probably happen. But Ryback getting a title shot, I'm okay with it because it's not Del Rio. I'm sure Plan B was Del Rio versus Kalisto again. Thank goodness it's not. So you can say what you want to say about Ryback, but I like the new direction. I like the new character. He's turned heel, yes, and he's just this no fucks given kind of guy. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just going to come out, he's going to beat the shit out of you and walk away. I like that. So I've always been a Ryback fan since day one when he debuted as Ryback, not as Skip Sheffield because I didn't watch back then. When he debuted as Ryback on SmackDown in 2012, big fan. From right then I went, wow, this guy is great. This guy is huge, and that's the appeal to me. I like the guys who are larger than life. That's just me. Whatever. That's just my my taste. So when I saw Ryback, I just gravitated towards him because holy shit, this guy is a beast. Blah blah blah. This is going to be cool. And I was a big fan since. And I don't like the way they've used Ryback a lot of the times. And I've cooled off on Ryback a little bit as a face. So I think a heel turn is a much-needed freshener up for him. New look. Perhaps a bit of a new style to his repertoire as well. And a new attitude. I just think will reignite Ryback for me. And I think the crowd might give him another chance. as a heel, just beat up on some of the beloved, baby faces, and I think give him the US title, and I think you never know, he might do pretty well with it. I mean, his IC title reign wasn't great for a number of reasons. An injury didn't help, of course, but I think a second chance with a different style, different character as US champion, it may work a lot better. So, would not be surprised if we do see that, but of course, there's going to be some big multi-man match, so it just depends on, will it be for the US title, or will it be the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? I'm not sure. Finally, Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt had a match to close out the show. We've seen this match 1,000 times now, so we didn't really need to see it again, but we did. And basically, it happened. The match was the same as every Wyatt match. Bray Wyatt's about to lose. Out comes the Wyatt family. Blah 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 blah. You know the rest. So, yeah, I enjoyed the Dean Ambrose and Triple H promo earlier in the show as well. I thought that was good. I liked that interaction. So, was that early in the show, or was that after the match? I think that was earlier. But I don't mind what they're doing now. I just mean, like, we've got 4 weeks to go to WrestleMania. No sign of Roman Reigns on the show for 2 weeks. I get what they're doing. They want to build up Roadblock, have the fans kind of forget about Reigns for a little bit, have Ambrose have his moment, have his spotlight, do it all with Triple H, get his title shot. Then once Ambrose loses, you have Roman Reigns come in. I get that, but I mean, to not have Roman Reigns on the show at all is like for 2 weeks, right before WrestleMania. I don't know, it just feels like it's not a good idea. I just feel like they should be having Reigns there. But again, we see the same guys every week, 365 days a year. We see it 52 weeks a year, we see the same guys. So sometimes having the guy not on TV is not a bad thing. And, I feel like before WrestleMania, it's probably not a good idea. But, maybe when I look back at a month's time, I might say, you know what, that was probably a good idea from the WWE. Let Ambrose get his moment, So you can think about it both ways. It might help Reigns. I'm not sure. I don't really know. For me, I'm okay with Reigns. No problem at all, obviously. But I just don't know if it'll help Reigns when he comes back. Will he get a big reaction? I don't know. I think it's going to be the same old. I mean, I don't think it's a case of WWE wants to avoid Chicago, avoid these tough crowds. I don't think that's the case. I just think it's the fact that, look, they want Ambrose to have this moment, have this match. People want to see this match. Let Ambrose have it. Let Ambrose and Triple H interact. Once Triple H beats Ambrose, which he will, then we'll bring back Reigns and we can, pick up where we left off with Reigns and Triple H, and people can kind of forget about any match between Ambrose and Triple H for WrestleMania. Any possibilities for a title match at WrestleMania. That's probably the case. But yeah, so the Wyatt, Bray Wyatt, I just don't have any care for at all at the moment. The Wyatt family, to me, I've lost all faith in them, no interest. They desperately need to do something different because for me, they're just stale as hell. Just stale. Just don't care. But Ambrose hitting the dirty deeds on Triple H and holding the title to finish out the show. Obviously, generally, WWE, if you get the upper hand before a title match on a pay-per-view on Raw. So let's say Ambrose got the upper hand on Triple H. That generally means he's going to lose at Roadblock. So if you think Ambrose is going to win, well, I've got some bad news for you. So, but yeah, I think it should be a good match, and I think that will be a good transition to go into WWE Roadblock in our predictions. So, like I said, Raw was a very good show. Really enjoyed it. Some great moments. Chicago was very good. So that's the sum up of that. So. A rating, I don't know, maybe give it a 7.5, 8 out of 10. It was a pretty good show. There's a lot of things in there that I didn't really talk about, but I kind of forgot a lot of the other stuff that happened. Honestly, I just kind of focused on the good bits, and that's what we should do. There's always going to be some bad bits. It's 3 hours of TV. There's always going to be something that sucks. Let's focus on the good stuff. That's what I try to do. WWE Roadblock. So it's this Saturday, I believe. And, yeah, looking forward to it. I'll be watching it, no doubt about that. I mean, I always like to watch these specials. I think they're always exciting. And I like how they've done Roadblock. I mean, yes, it's just before WrestleMania, but I think, I think a big show for WrestleMania, you get a couple of good matches in there, kind of give more of a incentive to subscribe to the network, which, by the way, we're going to talk about in a moment. The free WrestleMania thing, oh, God, that is asinine. But
having a big show before WrestleMania, I don't think is a bad thing. Obviously NXT as well, stack the card up, stack it up for March. Have a really solid month, a big month before WrestleMania. Get some momentum in, because I think they desperately need that. Fastlane was, not great, and I think they could really do with a good special show heading towards WrestleMania. Get a couple good Raws in a row. They've done pretty decent on Raw. The one with Shane McMahon when he came back was a good show. So if they can get 2, 3, 4 Raws in a row that are pretty good, they got some good crowds coming up that should help that. Then I think they're going to have some steam into WrestleMania, and that might help them out a lot. So Roadblock, Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. Lesnar's going to win. I mean, Bray Wyatt's got nothing planned at WrestleMania by the looks of it. So there's no reason at all why Wyatt would even, beat Heath Slater, let alone Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar will probably throw him around the ring a bit. Wouldn't surprise me if the Wyatts get involved a lot, and it might end in a DQ just to protect Bray Wyatt, because that's something they would probably do. Lesnar wins by DQ. All the Wyatt family members come in, and Brock Lesnar beats them all up. Throws them all on the ring, throws them around. Probably Eric Rowan and Luke Harper will take an F5 each. Braun Strowman will just get tossed over the top rope. So that's how I see it happening. Probably a 5 to 8 minute match. Wyatt family get involved, because Lesnar doesn't generally have very long matches on these special events. He's always on them, but he's not wrestling for that long. It's generally just a squash. When he did a match against Kofi, it was like a 5-minute match. Big Show wasn't very long either, so I expect this just to be a bit of a squash. But instead of Lesnar winning, it'll be Bray Wyatt losing by DQ, and the whole Wyatt family get bitched out. Maybe maybe we'll see Lesnar later on when we see Dean Ambrose versus Triple H, which I think will be a big match, probably a 20-minute long match. A match just to kind of give Triple H a big title matchup, get people affiliated with Triple H again in the ring before WrestleMania. Give Ambrose a big match. I don't know where Roadblock is. I don't know where the crowd will be, but it should be a good reaction for Dean Ambrose. It should be a really exciting match. So this should be a good night. I think that should be a nice show. I'm sure the undercard will be just full of shit that we won't care about. Probably, Social Outcasts versus Ryback again, or Kalisto versus Del Rio again for the US title. That kind of crap we'll probably see, no doubt about that. Maybe Ziggler versus Sheamus or something. The undercard will be really shitty, but the two premier matches, especially Ambrose and Triple H, should be good. That'd be really the only reason why you should watch the show. But definitely think Triple H is going to win. There's no way Ambrose is going to walk out of the belt when they've been hyping up a big WrestleMania match just before WrestleMania. 2 WrestleMania matches will be changed because, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But Ambrose will come so close. Triple H will hit probably a pedigree out of nowhere and just win it, It's just a matter of after the match, will we see Roman Reigns come out, make his 2-week return at Roadblock, and maybe Triple H is beating the crap out of Dean Ambrose after the match. Roman Reigns comes out and attacks Triple H after the matchup. Either that, or maybe, Brock Lesnar comes out after Dean Ambrose's loss and adds insult to injury. I could see that happening. So something will happen to Ambrose. Someone will come out at the end and have some kind of interaction. Probably more. I think the one that makes the most sense will be Roman Reigns and Triple H. Just so, okay, Ambrose is out of the way now. In comes Reigns. Probably get a bad reaction, but I could see that happening. I think there's Enzo and Cass versus the Revival as well on the show for the NXT title. I heard the Revival just won. They were NXT champions or something like that. I don't know. Something happened there, but spoiler alert. But I don't know. I think Revival will win that. I don't really follow NXT, so I don't really care all that much. But I will say Enzo and Cass should definitely be on the main roster by now. It's just like Sami Zayn. I feel like they don't need to be there. So that's Roadblock. That's all the matches that's been announced as far as I know, and we'll talk more about Roadblock when it happens. I'll be on Twitter, definitely live tweeting, and I'll definitely be on the forums for Roadblock for the live chat. So I might give you guys a quick reminder about that before the event, and we might get a big chat going for Roadblock. That'd be fun. We'll try to do that. WrestleMania 33 is now scheduled to be in Orlando. They made the announcement. So Orlando gets another WrestleMania. I think the last one they had was 2008, I believe. So Orlando gets another one. I mean, I think it might be a little bit too soon for Orlando to get another one. But the WWE, they are so situated in Florida. You know, they've got the NXT, the Performance Center in Orlando. They've been in Tampa a lot of the time over the years. You know, they do a lot in Orlando and in Florida. So it kind of makes sense to have it in Florida again. Didn't they do one in Miami? Wasn't WrestleMania 28? I think, yeah, 28 in Miami. Was that Miami? So they've been in Florida like pretty recently, I think. So I don't know. I think you should probably share it around a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I like how they went to Dallas this year. That was different, but I don't really want to see it in the same city all the time. I think like it should be really different. But I guess Orlando probably put in the biggest bid, and you know they got the win. But I think again, like you want to have it like as a big tourist event, and Orlando and obviously Miami as well, very easy to market for overseas fans to come, because they come to WrestleMania, see a week of wrestling. You know, you have NXT on, quite often there's indie shows on, and you know the Hall of Fame as well. And then you know you can have a couple of days if you wanted to go sightseeing, and you can do shit at Orlando. There's plenty of stuff to do at Orlando, plenty of stuff you know to do in Florida in general. So it's a pretty easy city to market, pretty easy place to sell. So really, it's a very good idea. Just the fact that they kind of were there not too long ago is probably the only problem, but you know, I'm not going, so I don't really care. I wish I was going. I wish I could go to WrestleMania. That's one of my something on my bucket list is to get to WrestleMania, to see a Raw or a pay-per-view live. Probably a pay-per-view live would be the biggest one. You know, I would like to do both, but WrestleMania, I wouldn't care if I went to like a SummerSlam or just a a good pay-per-view with a good card. That's I would take that, but WrestleMania would obviously be the ultimate. But I don't know. I mean, seeing WrestleMania, being in the cheap seats, I think would be... I don't know if it would be a great experience. I think being part of the crowd would be awesome. But I don't know if seeing the event... You'd have to watch it back, later on. You'd have to go home and watch it on the network again to see all the action. But I think being there would be a lot of fun. But seeing the wrestling itself, not so much. But Orlando, again, getting WrestleMania. It is what it is. So let me know if you are going to WrestleMania this year. I would like to know if any of my subscribers are heading over to WrestleMania, and so I can feel depressed and wish I was you. Be very jealous. But let me know if you're going. I'd like to hear and about your experience as well when you do get to go, because I think there's going to be a lot of events. Obviously you have NXT Dallas, so that'd be a pretty hot ticket as well. So let me know if you're going to the Hall of Fame or NXT show whilst you're there. Speaking of Hall of Fame, Big Boss Man is officially inducted into the Hall of Fame. No complaints there from me. I feel like, The Godfather, bit iffy. You can say yes or no to that one, But I think Boss Man, who's probably a fringe level main eventer for a long time, and, he had a pretty good run. He had a pretty good run, pretty good career. I think... wasn't a WWE champion, I don't think. I don't recall. I'm not really that familiar with the Big Boss Man, to be honest with you, but obviously was involved in the Attitude Era stuff. Obviously something that comes to mind is the Big Show feud and things like that. But I think he deserves it. I mean, Godfather is the criteria, the level that you need to get in. Definitely, Big Boss Man is above that. So I think. We need to have a few people that have unfortunately passed away come into the Hall of Fame, and it's nice to recognize those people despite them being gone. And I think they need to start doing a few more of them. I mean, you probably don't want to have too many a show. That's the thing. Like, you want to have a couple at a show, otherwise it's a bit of a downer. But I think Boss Man certainly very worthy of the of the prize, of the award. So well done to him. There's other Hall of Fame announcements as well. Apparently, WWE Magazine, they leaked Jacqueline and Stan Hansen have now been announced for Hall of Fame. They're not officially announced in terms of, the WWE themselves haven't announced, but I think, I read somewhere that their own magazine had a little piece in there saying that Jacqueline and Stan Hansen are both deserve it, I think, as well. Stan Hansen, obviously, a great career. Jacqueline was a pretty great diva as well. Great women's champion, and was had a pretty good impact. So I definitely think both of them deserve to go in. And so that's Hall of Fame shaping up to be pretty good. There's some good names there now. I was a little worried about it, but it should be a pretty decent Hall of Fame. I think no real complaints from me. Do they need another big name in there? Maybe. Is Sting going to be the headliner? I'm not sure. I think personally, I'd be fine with Sting as a headliner. I know a lot of people saying that Sting isn't a big enough star to be the headliner, but to me, I think he is. A huge WCW star. I guess the only thing would be is they probably want a WWE guy to be the headliner, but I don't think it really matters. I think Sting deserves that spot. They don't really need to find anyone else. I think the Hall of Fame will sell itself. Maybe they might try and get another name, but I think they've pretty much got a decent lineup so far. And we only have a couple little pieces to go for this episode before we head into the questions, but Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, rumor is that they might be coming to the main roster when they debut rather than NXT. Originally, they were scheduled to be coming to NXT. That's probably where we all expected them to be, but obviously a lot of rumors circulating that Anderson and Gallows might be coming to the main roster with Finn Balor to join and create a Balor Club, or I think was it a Bullet something? I don't know. I don't know what the other name was, but some other Bullet Club type of rip-off, the WWE style. So I'm okay with this. I think this is the best idea. Have them pair up, because putting them in NXT, does Doc Gallows really need to go to NXT? He's been WWE for years. That'd be ridiculous. Anderson, I could accept that, but I think if they're already an established team overseas, bring them in as a team and, pair them up with Finn Balor, and immediately you create a big, new stable. A new stable that could look to take over in, after WrestleMania. I think it would be great to have them debut after WrestleMania, make a big impact. They probably have to be heel, honestly, but they could have a really big impact. That could be something that really could, be really great to watch. And I'd be all for that, definitely. But definitely this is the way to go, rather than NXT. NXT, what can they really do in NXT? There's not really a big group of people they can go against. Maybe if the Authority does win at WrestleMania, you could have the Balor Club come out and, be against them. Come after the Authority and, something like that, and try and take over the show. Something like that. It's an easy thing to do. So you can, make them babyface that way. So I would love to see them on the main roster. I just want to see something big happen. I think after WrestleMania, we're going to start to see a lot of people coming up, and I think definitely Finn Balor is a lock. And if Anderson and Gallows are coming up with him, I think that'd be a very, very good decision. And that will also ease some of the pressure off from Finn Balor, because I think a lot of people think Finn Balor is going to be a big star. And I said on this show maybe like a year ago that I think Finn Balor is going to be the man when he comes up. I think he will. But I just feel like, his talking and his promos may let him down. And if he has some guys to associate around him, that might help him out a little bit and not be thrown into the deep end straight away. So many guys. Look at Tyler Breeze. He's just nowhere. He's disastrous. A horrible, horrible main roster experience with that guy. We don't want to see another one of that. A 2-week push and that's it. We want to see him long term. I think they have a lot of expectations and hope for Finn Balor as well. So I think he'll have a great run on the main roster when he does get there. And if Anderson and Gallows is there with him, I think that'll work out much, much better. Alrighty, so that's the wrestling chat done for the week. We're going to get into some questions in a moment's time, but I want to talk about what is Brendan playing. Now, today I bought Tom Clancy's The Division. You would have seen some videos up on my channel already for the game. And let me tell you something right now. This game is phenomenal. This game is so good. Similar to Destiny. I never played Destiny. Didn't really feel like it was going to be for me. But Tom Clancy's... Honestly, I didn't really look up much gameplay. I didn't really look into this game at all. I just bought it. I thought to myself, well, hey, this game got some hype. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone thinks it's going to be good. There was no reviews yet to really base my opinion on, so I went, you know what, I'm just going to buy it. And I'm so glad I did. This game is so good. It's open world, like an MMO, and third person. I'm more of a first person guy, but I can deal with the third person. I think the shooting and the gameplay is fun. And you can obviously do missions with your friends. Can group up. I think there's going to be raids and things like that. And there's going to be plenty of stuff to do. I just have only scraped the surface. I've only really through the first kind of section of the game, and I'm just there's your ability to get your own like headquarters or a safe zone or whatever, and you can build it up and upgrade it into something really great. Different little areas like the medical center, security, and whatever, all these different things that you can build up and upgrade. I really like that component of games. Like Fallout, 4, when they had the settlement thing, I spent hours just making my own house and building up my camp. That was amazing. So I love that. I really do. So that's another really exciting component for me for this game. So really big thumbs up from me. I would definitely recommend it if you're on the fence or want to see some gameplay. Check out my video that I did on it. I liked doing that video. I'm definitely going to do a full probably playthrough of the game on my channel. That's the plan anyways. I want to definitely play a lot of it. The reason being is because I want to do something different on the channel. I've been talking about it a while now, and I talked about it a lot in my stream the other night. I definitely want to do some different stuff on the channel, and I want to play some games, do some walkthroughs and things like that. And this is, I felt like just a good game to start with. It's a very exciting, very entertaining game to watch, I believe. So I thought maybe it's more of a stream game, but I think, hey, let's just do a playthrough on it on YouTube. And I want to just get the people familiar with me as someone who's a little bit more diverse. Rather than just the WWE guy, I want to be more than that. So that's my plan, that's my hopes, just to kind of expand myself out a little bit and do something different. Because I love doing the WWE stuff, don't get me wrong, I really love doing it, but I feel like my channel just needs something a little bit else, something different, something else to go on the side. And if you want to watch, that's amazing. If you don't want to watch, you just want to stick to the WWE stuff, I understand. But hey, just give it a go for me. And you never know, you might actually enjoy the game. And, it's just a way to kind of, give some more content. More content. I'm going to still going to have the universe mode stuff coming out regularly. Because, doing the playthroughs, I'm going to be playing that game anyways. So it's no real time wasted. It's no real, extra time that I could have been spending on other, series. It's going to be, what I would have been doing anyway. So you're still going to see universe mode stuff. You're still going to see the podcast. You're still going to see everything. But it's just, some more different stuff on the side. But anyways, really, really enjoyed the game. I want to get back into it and play. I've probably put 2 hours into it so far. I haven't done any online experience yet. My friend, I've been waiting for him to get it. And I believe he's been playing. He's probably playing it right now. So I want to see if he can catch up to me and we can play together. That'd be really fun, and do the the missions together. That'd be really, really cool. So if we can do that, I think I will really, really love the game and really just have a blast. So hopefully we can do that, and that would be a lot of fun. So far, just been solo, and it's still been a very enjoyable experience. You don't really need to group up. I've been really enjoying the campaign by myself. So definitely looking forward to playing a bit more of it. So we'll probably play it after the podcast maybe. But alrighty, so we'll get into the questions to close out the show for the week. So let's get straight into them, shall we? Not a lot of questions this week, but we do have some here right in front of me. This one is coming from Chip Master. What are your thoughts on games like Halo 5 or Black Ops 3? So I love Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2, I talked about it a few weeks ago, and I was back on Modern Warfare 2 playing the hell of it. I love Call of Duty. I love first-person shooters. It's my favorite type of game. I've cooled off on them a little bit in the last few years because I feel like there hasn't been a great FPS to really sink my teeth into. Surprising enough, Battlefield Hardline was one that really kind of reignited my love for them because I played 100 hours on that game. Loved it. But I love first-person shooters. Black Ops 3, I haven't played it for a couple months. I was kind of waiting for the DLC, but I just don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I'm on the fence. Do I want to go back and play it? I'm not sure. And Halo 5, I do have Halo 5. I haven't played too much of it. And there's a reason why. It's because I absolutely suck at Halo. I don't play on the Xbox a lot. I need to. I definitely want to. But I suck. I suck at Halo. Suck. Terrible. And, I mean, it's very rewarding when you do, score a very good score. And I've been obviously playing Counter-Strike as well lately, and I'm not a PC gamer. I've been doing okay on that. But, I'm terrible at Halo. But, I'm pretty good at first-person shooters overall. So when I come from, Call of Duty, I get 2-3 KDs, and I get to Halo, and I'm going negative. So it's a big, step down. So I definitely need to get better at Halo, and I need to play more Halo 5. But I love first-person shooters, and Yeah, so Halo and Black Ops, I do enjoy them, but they're not my favorite games, and they're not my go-to games at the moment, but I definitely enjoy those 2 games. This one comes from Callum Burgess. When do I see Enzo and Cass debuting on the main roster? Look, I really thought they were going to be here already. I honestly thought maybe 6 months ago they'd be here. I think we're all kind of thinking that. When are they going to debut? The time to debut is always after WrestleMania. We always see tag teams, single stars, divas. We always see everyone kind of debut. There might be 5 or 6 new debutants after the WrestleMania, and I'm sure Enzo and Cass are probably in the front of the queue to be the next team to come up. So after WrestleMania, maybe not the night after WrestleMania, but between after WrestleMania and Payback, I'm sure they probably will be there at some point. Hopefully. I'd be a little bit worried if they're not. If they're not coming up after WrestleMania, they're never coming up at all. So they need to come up soon. Another one from Callum. Could you see AJ Styles winning the Money in the Bank to make him more phenomenal? I actually think AJ Styles is one of the little favourites to win Money in the Bank this year. The problem is, will they give AJ Styles the belt? That's the only thing. I personally would definitely have him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And I personally would have him as a potential winner because I think Styles is doing pretty well. I think they're just going to gauge the audience reaction to him. If he's still getting good reactions Money in the Bank time and people are going crazy for him, wanting to win Money in the Bank, I think he'll win. I don't really think the fact he was in TNA all these years and whatever, I don't think that's going to come into play that much. I really don't. I think if he's doing well, he's selling shirts, he's over, people love seeing him, I think they might give him Money in the Bank because really, he could have a 1-month reign, 2-month reign, and is it really going to hurt? No, not really. If anything, it probably will help. So, we had Sheamus, we had him have a 1-month reign. It was horrible. I really kind of, thought to myself, should I even watch Raw anymore when he won the title? I really contemplating giving it up. It was that, terrible. But, so if he can get a run with Money in the Bank, I'm sure AJ Styles can probably do it. So it might be the only way he would ever win the WWE Championship. So I definitely think he'd be a top 3 right now as a potential winner. Probably a Cesaro there as well, and maybe a Dean Ambrose or a Seth Rollins again if he returns. Do I see Daniel Bryan having a role at WrestleMania? That one came from Tom Speller. Tom, I'm not sure. I think, the rumor is he will have a role. I mean, the rumor is right now is that Austin, Rock, Foley, Michaels will all be there. So I can see Bryan doing something. I'm not sure what. Maybe a backstage skit, something like that. Maybe he comes out there. Maybe all the legends come out there at the start of WrestleMania and chat and talk shit and do their catchphrases and whatever. Maybe that's something that happens. But I definitely could see Bryan there. I think he should be there. I think it'd be a waste not to have him there. I think it would go over well. I think people want to see him there. I think people were disappointed he's not going to be there wrestling, but I think he should be at least there as a personality. All right, next one comes from Awesome K. What do you think would have happened if Seth Rollins never got injured? Well, I believe Seth Rollins was probably due to lose the championship at the time that he did, around that Survivor Series time. I felt as though it was probably going to happen anyways, but I definitely think he'd be in amongst it. I think we'd have a big WrestleMania match. Would it be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? I don't think so. Maybe Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. We kind of saw that enough. So I'm not sure what match he would have had, but I'm sure he would have had a top-of-the-line match on the show. But maybe a babyface turns against Triple H. Maybe it would have been Seth Rollins versus Triple H one-on-one at WrestleMania, with Seth Rollins turning face, going after Triple H. That's a possibility. I'm sure he'd be in amongst it. Probably would have had a couple title matches at, maybe Fastlane. He'd be involved, making a fatal 4-way or triple threat again. Or maybe it would have been Seth Rollins there. I don't know, but I'm sure he would have been doing pretty well. So when he comes back, I think he'll definitely be a babyface when he comes back. Coming after the championship, whoever the champion is, probably a heel Roman Reigns. That's what I would have anyways. So I think Seth Rollins will be okay. I think a lot of people kind of think, well, maybe Seth Rollins will come back. He'll be a mid-carder. No one, the WWE won't give him a push anymore. I don't think that's the case. I think it'll just be, Seth Rollins comes back and pick up right where he left off, but probably more as a babyface. So if Seth Rollins never got injured, I think he would have dropped the title. Whether if it was not at Survivor Series, would have been probably Royal Rumble time anyways. and probably would have started a feud maybe with Triple H, maybe with someone else, I'm not sure, but it would have just been a singles match at WrestleMania, not a title match, not a champion, just a singles match at WrestleMania. Finally, this one comes from King Jonathan. He's got 3 questions. First one is, do I still read the diaries on the forums? If so, which ones? If not, how come? No, I don't read them at the moment because I just don't have the time to kind of invest in those diaries. They're really, really good. And he's talking about like people, make their own diaries and journal, whatever you want to call it, like of their own universe modes. They'll create their own storylines, they'll write it out and things like that for universe mode and personal forums. It's really great. There's a whole section on there that's really, really good. So definitely check them out. If that's something that interests you. People have done it for their Extreme Warfare Revenge shows. It's really, really good. So I don't read them not because they're not good, not because I enjoy them, because I just don't have the time. I like to try and spend as much time as I can doing my videos and doing the gaming stuff, and then when I'm not there, try and get some downtime, and if I am got some spare time, I'm also working on the website, the behind the scenes stuff. So I don't really do too much stuff like reading, the diaries, unfortunately. But I did read them for a long time then. I was really enjoying them. So don't read them at the moment. This one comes from, another question from me, I should say. This one is, who's your favorite NXT superstar? Don't really have a favorite, but there's a few that I like. I like Finn Balor, I like Samoa Joe, I like Apollo Crews. Austin Aries, I think I'll enjoy his work there too. I think Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, I think they're really good as well. So that's really about it. I don't have a dead set favorite, but because I don't really watch the product too much, I just watch the takeover specials, and I might catch an episode here and there like I did last week. But I don't really have a straight-up favorite, but there's a few that I definitely like, and a few that I've got my eye on, thinking that they could be a big star. Like, the thing is, like I've said, my reason why I don't watch NXT is quite often you invest the time in them in NXT, they come to the main roster, and they're not shit. And that's annoying. Look at Tyler Breeze. You invested 3 years in the guy, thinking, wow, this guy could really be something. He's really great in NXT, gets to the main roster, and he's nothing. So it just feels like a waste of time. And that's going to happen all the time with some WWE guys. And, you can check it out, the special shows here and there, and appreciate what they do. And, you can see enough of it. You hear enough about it. You can kind of follow it to a degree. And, you watch those special shows, the takeover specials, and you can watch them and you can see the progression of some guys and see the talents improving and what they've been working on over the past couple months. So I kind of get enough out of that rather than watching the weekly stuff. And finally, why do you not use all the superstars you want to use in universe mode, since you are doing sort of a fantasy brand split universe mode? I'm not sure what you really mean by this question. I do use all the superstars I want to use. My universe mode brand split is based on current day WWE rosters. So if they're not on the current roster right now, to a degree, some exceptions. Not very often that I do an exception. Mainly, maybe it's a legend like Batista or The Rock or Triple H. They're not really full-time guys, but on my show they kind of are. So there is some exceptions, but for the most part, it's very much so based on the current rosters. So there's no real fantasy element behind it. There is just a brand split with the current roster and what WWE would be like if they had a brand split. So I use everyone I want to use. If there's someone I want to use, I use them. If they're not in the WWE, I won't use them, obviously, because that's just the way it is. I'm not going to use somebody from Ring of Honor if they've never been on WWE. It doesn't make sense. Like, they put them on Raw or why. So, but NXT, I definitely bring in guys who are on NXT. So it's just a fact. My universe mode is based off WWE, current day WWE rosters, and if they're on the roster, they get in my show. If not, well, they're not there. So I don't really know why, what your question is really all about, but I do use all the superstars that I want to use. So, alright, guys, that will do it for this week's edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. If you did enjoy it, do leave a like on the video. It'd be great if we could hit, let's say, 12 likes this week. It'd be great. We are approaching episode 100. We're very, very close. I think my likely situation for episode 100 will be a live Let's Talk Tuesdays, doing a live stream on a Twitch or whatever, doing the episode there, and answering the questions live. Not sure how I'll do that, but if that's something that interests you, let me know. But if you have any other suggestions, let me know, of course, as well. But do keep on supporting the show. Really appreciate all the love, and keep on sending in the questions for me to answer. And you can also do that, of course, the forums, spreadandplays.com/forums, YouTube comment section down below. Hopefully I remember to do the Facebook question as well. Voicemail as well, brendanplays.com. Follow me on Twitter at brendanplays. Leave a like on Facebook. Brendan Plays Official is the name. And that will help you stay up to date with everything to do with the channel. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the regular Universe Mode stuff. We've done a lot of them this week. I think we did 4 or so. That was good. Hopefully going to try and keep that up. And the new computer is a beast. Render times are great. Upload times are amazing. More videos are coming. I'm trying my best to do as many as I can. So keep supporting the show, and you'll get more videos from me. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you all next week.